Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to Breakfast with the Ummah. We are here again with
Assalamu alaikum, Justin here. We're here with Abdurrahman today again. We have another episode with him.
Alhamdulillah. We came for episode
Assalamu
number
alaikum.
2.
Episode number 2, yeah. We got an interesting episode today.
Yeah, very interesting episode, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
We're going to be touching on, the infamous Haram police, inshallah. And, our thoughts on the Haram police and things of that nature. So, we're going to start off with our guest, Abdurrahman.
Before we start though, how have you been?
Wallah, alhamdulillah. Busy.
Yeah.
You already saw it before the podcast too.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys have an AC in here now?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah,
So,
we
alhamdulillah,
had
it's
to
nice and comfy.
Yeah.
we had to speak to the people in charge, for the AC. We had to put that request.
How you guys been?
Alhamdulillah, been good,
Yeah, can't complain,
just been chilling.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So we're going to start off, with you and your thoughts on the Haram police, inshallah.
So the moment you guys told me the topic,
Yeah.
just like a bunch of stories just come to mind,
Yeah.
When it comes to Haram police in general, I have a bit of not a controversial take, but I'm like 50-50 on them. I'm very big on how someone does something, especially since, I'm involved with community work, and I started at a very young age. I started when I was like 13. So you have a lot of people that come up to advise you, right? But advisement versus embarrassing someone are two different things.
Yeah.
And the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us how to go about advising someone, not to humiliate people. We know the infamous story about how there was a companion who asked them to make adultery allowed, which was a pretty wild question to ask, And the companions would get mad. They got like furious. And why would you even, have the audacity to ask such a question? And the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went about it in a way that we should, look at, where he related the question to him. Would you like it if it was your mom, your sister, people that are related to you?
Yeah.
And then after that, he made dua for the individual by put his hand on them, made dua for them. And the hadith says that the companion who asked was then not affected by, these thoughts and desires.
Mhm.
So if someone does or someone's doing something wrong, you should advise them, but you should advise them in a way that's soft and advise them where they're not embarrassed.
Mhm.
However, if someone does something in public to the point where other people might see their actions and do it themselves because they think, okay, this person did it, they should be advised publicly, but still in a way that's not to embarrass them.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, if someone is promoting something and claiming it's part of Islam when it's really not part of Islam, then that person should be spoken to harshly but still respectfully. So it's very subjective, but I don't like this whole concept of, or again, not that my opinion matters, but only Allah can judge me. That if that's the case, then you should hide your sins, and you shouldn't be flaunting them.
Mhm.
And again, it is between an individual and Allah. But if I'm doing a sin, or if I'm on a journey, and I have shortcomings in my journey, I shouldn't be promoting those shortcomings, right? I should hide those shortcomings because Allah says to hide your sins.
Mhm.
And then whatever I'm doing good, I should use it to motivate other people. And if someone advises me, if they're doing so in a way that's respectful and calm, like for example, if I post a video, I did something wrong, and someone comments under it saying, "Akhi, you should have done this or this. Jazakumullah khairan, I appreciate it. Inshallah, may Allah reward you for advising me." Not, why are you judging me? It's between me and Allah. Like this person was genuinely trying to help me, Whereas, for example, if, I have long hair on top, short hair on the sides, I'm always getting comments about this all the time, Someone says, yo, you're kafir, you have a haram haircut. In that case, you say, yo, like, relax, So it's very subjective. But you shouldn't just become defensive because someone corrected you. And at the same time, you shouldn't just take everything on the chin, You need to still have a little bit of a backbone.
For me, my view on Haram police,
And I'm sorry to cut you off. Yo, some people really drag it.
For sure. For sure. We got to get into that.
Yeah. My views on Haram police is the way I view police, actual police, is in America. Let's say in America, okay?
Okay.
There's no softness in it. If it's softness, to me, if you are advising somebody, it's soft. Then that's advising.
They don't
That's
come under that
difference.
category of haram police.
Yeah, they don't
Makes
come in the
sense.
category as
Makes
Haram
sense.
police.
Makes sense.
If you're advising me, you're gonna take me in private, be like, hey, my brother, you did this wrong. You know what I'm saying? even if you do something in public,
Mhm.
I feel like they should advise you in private.
Yes.
So then be like, hey, I advise you to take what you put up, down, because this, that,
Yeah.
you know, and they explain it to you. You know, they bring up
An example, and again, sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, would be if I give, for example, a lecture, right?
Yeah.
And I mention a hadith that's incorrect,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or if I say something that's not correct, you know, and it's not Jum'ah khutbah, because in Jum'ah khutbahs you can't speak, you know, but let's
Yeah.
say it's a regular lecture, and perhaps I misquote a verse of the Quran, or I translate something wrong to the point where I'm giving knowledge to someone, and that at that time, someone should say, "Oh, brother, by the way, it's actually this, not this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, done in a manner that's not to embarrass the
But
person.
Right,
that's
yeah.
different.
Like humble
though.
manners.
That's, for me,
Yeah.
that's different because
Yeah.
in the salat, when somebody make a mistake, it's
Yeah.
our obligations to
Correct.
correct them.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
that's different because you're in a. I'm speaking in the sense of, like we said, like if you do a haram action, and you know it's haram, and like you publicize it or whatever, somebody like on social media, for example, like you're doing something that you know is haram, like saying drink alcohol, for example,
Mhm.
and you know it's haram. The people that know that you're Muslim know it's haram, and they tell you in a private DM, hey, like, you know, drinking alcohol is haram. Like, you're not supposed to drink alcohol. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Then you could be like, okay, I will advise you to take it down because, you know, if you leave your sins up in public, everybody that sees it, that's a sin upon you. That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Right.
That's
yeah.
that's an advice, right?
Yeah.
Haram police, on the other hand, they be like, they're on you, like,
Yeah, it's be going crazy.
be like,
Yeah.
why you drinking? You know you're not even supposed to be drinking. You know what I'm saying?
It's all emotional. There's
It's
no logic.
emotional. It's
100%.
no,
Yeah, they just be going crazy.
it's not like there's no logic to
Yeah.
it. They're not having a conversation with you. It
Man,
doesn't
for
feel relatable, you know. It feels like, you know, when you
Feels
have
like
a
an
parent
attack.
that's bashing you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you do something wrong and your parent is on you and they're hounding on you, like, it
Yeah.
don't feel good, you know what I'm saying?
Or I feel like a
So,
sibling telling on
yeah.
you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's
It feels
different.
degrading. I feel like that's the
Yeah,
word.
it's like
Yeah.
you're trying to embarrass me. You're trying to people. For me, it looks like you're trying to make people think that you're high and pious and
Superiority.
and this,
Yeah,
that, and
for
the
sure.
third.
100%.
When at the end of the day, you sin just like I do. Like, you know, we all
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every son of Adam sins,
Mhm.
and if you didn't sin, Allah will replace you with somebody that sins, that asks for forgiveness, that repents. So we all know we're not perfect, and the only way our sins are hidden is by the mercy of Allah and Him covering our sins. So yeah, that's my take.
No, yeah, I wanted to start off just by saying, like, you know, because there's difference between like Haram police and the Haram police that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you go to like different countries like Saudi, and then, you know, they have the Haram police. They're enforcing the law, obviously, but the
That
Haram
law
police.
enforcement.
No, yeah, but the law.
I just went not too long ago. I went in
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
And my boy was telling me, yo, like, if they have it died down a little bit, but they got
Yeah.
it back up. Where like if
Yeah.
a man approaches a woman asking for social medias, yo, you
Yeah.
get locked up.
Oh,
Like you
wow,
legitimately, like you get locked up.
You
Subhanallah.
see, them
Yeah.
the police.
That's the Haram
them-
police.
That's the law.
That's the law
Yeah.
police, yeah. But with the Haram police that we're
That's the
talking
proper
about,
Haram police.
yeah, that's the proper ones. But the one we're talking about is the social media Haram police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
We're not talking about the ones that get paid.
Nah, yeah, for sure.
Maybe these ones get paid
Come
too.
on.
Nah, yeah. They get paid, so I don't even know.
I think we should get your take on it before I say anything.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, like, I was gonna talk about, basically this is like even like a deeper way, like even not even social media, but something that like a story that I heard from one of the sheikhs. So
Yeah.
basically, like, there was like this kid who had walked into a masjid and he was wearing like inappropriate clothing, and it was during like Friday like khutbah, right?
Yeah.
And then the imam, he was like giving a lecture and stuff. And then he just saw this kid walk in, and in the middle of the lecture, while he was like giving it, he basically related the whole lecture at the end to this kid,
Damn.
and basically embarrassed this kid, and he ended up never going to masjid ever again. So it's
I
like
actually,
you heard about this,
That's
right?
what I'm
so
saying.
a friend of mine, right? So
Yeah.
they again, not may Allah forgive everyone, you know.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
there's a masjid actually in Brooklyn. It's a small masjid. It was like an apartment building. The ground floor was supposed to be a store. They just made a masjid, whatever, right? So
Yeah.
And again, not to air on anyone's dirty laundry, but that place just constantly asks for donations.
Yeah.
And you don't see anything actually happening,
Mhm.
right? No, yo, the mic system's still bad,
Yeah.
sound system's still bad.
Mhm.
With all due respect, carpets still stink.
Yeah.
You know, the bathroom hasn't been renovated since the day that you opened the masjid. It's still, you know, like unfinished ground and just metal, you know, like contracted together to catch the water. It's a
Yeah.
mess, right? So you're asking for donations. A lot of people give.
Mm.
So where is it going? You know.
Right.
But I remember a friend of mine. So when he went to Pakistan, he got married back home,
Mhm.
and they posted some pictures, videos about the wedding, right? And it was a nice wedding,
Yeah.
right? And you know, over there sometimes they be throwing money in the air. It's personally I'm against that, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another time.
Yeah.
That's cultural.
Yeah, and even
Yeah.
even if it's cultural, it's still not a
Yeah.
good look. But
Yeah.
there's a reason why I'm mentioning that. So they posted pictures and videos of this, right?
Okay.
And the guy walks into the masjid. The imam's giving khutbah, right? He sees the kid walk in, right? The kid's older. He's older than me.
Okay.
So he walks into the masjid. All of a sudden, the khutbah comes about. You guys can throw money in the air at weddings, but you guys can't give to the masjid. You guys go to Pakistan and you guys have weddings, and he was dot for like
Word for word.
word for word,
Bar for
talking
bar.
about the wedding.
Oh wow.
And
That's
the kid,
crazy.
and the entire
Subhanallah.
time, you guys can't give to the masjid. You guys can't give to the masjid. The kid's like, I never went back to that masjid ever again in my life. You know?
That's the
Subhanallah,
thing.
it's
That's what I've been
crazy.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
Haram police, I'm sorry, but y'all make people run away from the deen. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you advise somebody, you make the person love the religion because they feel like you care about them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You
Mm.
care about them not just in this life, but you care about them in the hereafter.
Yeah.
So that's, you know what I'm saying? Then
And you don't know where somebody's path in the in the deen. You don't know if
Yeah.
somebody is like just turning back to Allah. You know, they might
Exactly.
have been through something in life and they want to turn back to Allah, and then somebody comes out of nowhere and like basically bashes them. They're like, all right, how am I supposed to turn
This
back to Allah?
happens a
It's
lot
like,
with reverts.
yeah,
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
against that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. This happens a lot to reverts. A friend
Yeah.
of mine, shout out Hadi, you know? I love him, wallahi, I love him, right?
Yeah.
So he's a very, very, very good friend of mine. I was actually just FaceTiming him before I I came inside.
Okay.
And he was telling me, wallah, hilarious story. Because
Yeah.
we were talking about like how people like get pushed away from the because of cultural things, because of haram
Yeah.
police. And he walked into a masjid and he prays, Allahumma barik. I'm not even trying to like put the kid on the spot.
Yeah.
5 times a day. Even reminds me sometimes when we go, Ya Abdurrahman, let's go pray.
Yeah.
So
SubhanAllah.
on top of his salah, and he has a sleeve, right? That's a
Okay.
sleeve.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the message, he tries to hide it up, but again, sometimes you're outside, you're wearing a t-shirt. There's no issue. And again, it's from the past. It's there's no
Yeah.
issue.
Mhm.
May Allah, may
100%.
Allah accept all his good deeds.
I mean,
Ameen.
Yeah.
But he went to the masjid and he was praying, and some guy was also praying, some old head, right?
Yeah.
And then the old head finishes salah, sees a Hadi tattoos, loudly, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أستغفر الله. No way, bro.
Yo.
Looking
Nah,
right at him, too.
No way,
that's
bro.
crazy. Put him on the
That is
spot though. Nah,
insane,
yeah, that's
bro.
too much.
Loud. Like
That
he
is
had no
insane,
remorse for anything.
bro.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
too much.
Yeah.
That's too much. Like
That and another, it reminds me, I have so many stories when it comes to this,
Nah, yeah.
I went to Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
And I love my country, right?
Yeah.
But there's like, in certain madhab, they have people who think, okay, you have to cover your head when you pray.
Yeah.
Some people say it's a sunnah, some people say it's not a sunnah. Leave that to a scholar to answer, right? Not we can get him on the podcast.
Yeah. Inshallah.
But we know for a fact that it's not you don't have to cover your head when you pray,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So it's almost and again, it could be a lack of knowledge. They heard it from someone. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So so it's not, regardless, the opinion is sunnah or not sunnah. Regardless of whichever one is correct, the debate is between sunnah and not sunnah.
Yeah.
So the point of the matter is that it's not mandatory to cover your head when you pray,
Mhm.
Right.
correct? But when you go to these, sometimes they have masjids. Even over here, they do it too.
Yeah.
Like
I've been to one.
Pakistan,
I've been to one.
you
Yeah.
cannot pray without your head covered. They got
What?
Yeah.
They
No.
gave me they gave me one when I went to a masjid before. As soon as
Yo,
I walk in, they said
shoulder.
here. I said, huh?
we were praying. So me, my dad, and my uncle, right?
Yeah.
We were looking for some like stuff at like the market. Salah time, we went to go pray.
Mm.
Bro, the imam, he's leading salah.
Yeah.
We're all in congregation, right? I didn't have a kufi, whatever you call it, and I didn't have any of that. It was just regular clothes.
Yeah.
Bro, that little one dusty bit in the corner,
Yeah.
right? With straw hats that are supposed to be this white but are this color
Oh,
Wow.
because how dirty they are.
Yeah.
Yo, in the middle of salah. I was thinking, I'm like, this guy should catch his congregational prayer, right?
Yeah.
He goes in the back, right?
Yeah.
Grabs one of those straw hats from the bin while I'm in congregation praying,
Yeah.
right on my head.
No way.
It wasn't even the right size to in the middle of salah.
Nah, that's
in the
crazy.
middle of salah.
That's
No
crazy.
way.
See,
Yeah.
this is the Haram
Yeah.
police. They gotta
That's
they
what
gotta
I'm
chill.
saying.
Like they do
That's
too much.
Crazy, bro.
They gotta like be. I like that's the thing about Haram police. Like I feel like they're just not like they're not respectful in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like right. That's the thing. That's the debate because it's like
Yeah.
how
I feel
can-
a lot of it comes from
Yeah.
a lack of knowledge too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Lack of
it'll
knowledge.
because
Yeah.
for me that don't make no sense. Because like as soon as you said that, the thing that I thought about is when you go to Hajj and Umrah, right?
Right.
And you are Ihram, you don't wear nothing on your head.
Yeah.
So like, where does that even come from?
Yeah.
Because after you finish, the tawaf, then you go and you do the two sunnah prayer
Correct.
behind
Maqam Ibrahim.
that's what I'm saying. Call Ibrahim. So you there is no way you're about to go find a hat after that. Like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
You're supposed
so
to, if I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to leave your head uncovered in ihram.
the whole
Yeah.
time it's supposed to be uncovered.
And also,
yeah, I don't see nobody wearing anything on their head.
it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's sunnah. The debate is whether it's sunnah or not. So
Yeah. Right.
automatically, if it's sunnah, if you do it, hypothetically speaking, right?
Yeah,
Because the opinion that I heard was that it's not sunnah. It was a cultural thing at the time of Rasulullah ﷺ, and that's he wore it. That's not a part of the deen. Now again, that's a separate topic for another time. But sunnah or not sunnah, there's no mention of it being fard,
right.
Yeah.
right? So automatically, if you do it, great. If you acknowledge it as a sunnah, great. But you don't do it, it's not a sin to you,
Right,
right?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's true. I've been a couple masjids like that, and they
Yeah.
would say they will like force it upon you so hard that it feels like if you don't do it, it's like it's sent to you.
Yeah.
You know, they make it seem that way.
I feel like that's also another thing about the Haram police. They don't know what's sunnah. They don't know what's fard, and like they
Yeah.
just want everybody to submit to their thought.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's different schools of thought,
Yeah.
and there's you know what I'm saying. Sometimes people go by what they learn from their imam. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
people also got put that into account.
Islam is not opinion based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If, for example, if certain people they eat the meat of Ahl Kitab, right, like kosher,
Mm.
or they eat stuff that is Allah that's not like zabiha, for example, you want to call it, because or they eat Ahl Kitab's like meat and stuff.
Yeah.
If you believe that it's allowed, when you respect the rules of no cross contamination and whatnot,
Mm.
you can say, okay, Islam allows it, but I don't want to do it because I just prefer not to because we have halal.
Right.
Same way, for example, a vegetarian or a vegan. If you say, oh no, meat is halal or meat is haram, or Allah, no, Allah said this is halal, this is halal, this is halal. If your opinion is that I would prefer to eat only vegetables, for example, right?
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, this is even though Islam allows us to eat X, Y, and Z, I prefer to only eat this,
Mhm.
right? But to mix your opinion with what Islam allows is a very big issue. And I've had this,
Yeah.
I was having a debate not a debate with an individual, but we had a brother who was asking me a question, right, about something. And another brother chimed in. And I was breaking it down for the brother because I explained, look, this is what I would suggest. This is what is specific to your scenario. This is what Islam allows. This is what Islam doesn't allow. We were talking about marriage in regards to, as a man, you don't need a wali, but you should, get your parents' opinion and their blessings
Yeah.
just to avoid any conflict within family, right?
Of course, yeah.
But technically speaking, Islam doesn't require a man to, have a wali. It's the woman that needs a wali.
Right.
So he's like, no, the guy comes in chiming, yo, no, you have to, tell your mom and this and that. I'm like, yo, I 100% agree. He has to tell his mom. If you don't do it, I'll smack you up your head,
Yeah.
But the point is that this is what is subjective to your scenario, but
Mhm.
Islam, because I'm not just going to give you my opinion. I'm going to
Mhm.
tell you what Islam says,
Yeah.
and then I will advise you based off of what your scenario is and what Islam allows,
Mhm.
Right.
No.
So allowing or haram police, they often, some of them, it's two ways. Either when they have like evidence, if you want to call it, or proof to back up their statement,
Yeah.
they're extreme with it. They shove it down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, if they don't have no evidence, it's either emotional or it's opinion,
Right.
Yeah.
which is an issue,
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, to add on to the Haram police, I would say like if you do get an approach about Haram police and they're advising you on certain cases, but they're doing it in the wrong way, at the end of the day, we still gotta accept their advice. And I would say like, if they're trying to tell you to do something better, of course accept their advice and be patient with them, 100%. But I would say you can also advise them as well and be like, you can't be approaching people this way because you could be throwing people
Yeah.
away from Islam.
You
Like,
become the haram police of the
Yeah.
haram police.
you gotta do that. We gotta start a new trend.
Yeah,
You gotta come under the Haram police and say, all right, you're being a Haram
Yeah.
police, you gotta do it this way.
Tone it down a little.
Nah, yeah.
Bring it down a little nut.
What they say, it's two separate things. As someone who would be receiving advice from the haram police,
Yeah.
you got to separate fact from emotion.
Yeah.
You have to still look at what they're saying. Right?
100%,
If-
yeah.
And this doesn't mean, okay, if someone is advising me, just take it blindly. You go, ask your local sheikh, you
Yeah.
know, someone that's knowledgeable, someone that's informed, ask them, hey, is this true or not? You
Yeah.
do your due diligence, but you don't completely dismiss what someone says to you, regardless of age,
Right.
regardless of how much knowledge they know, because even some people that are, you know, extremely knowledgeable, they might do something wrong and they might need advisement themselves, you
Right.
know? So knowledge level, age, you know, seniority, and all these things, all these factors don't dismiss advice. You take that advice, you say Jazakumullah khair, go check it out, do your due diligence. If it's
Yeah.
correct, follow it. If it's not, no problem. May Allah forgive that individual.
Yeah.
Simple.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Take the advice, but don't take the attitude.
Yeah.
Nah,
Because
yeah,
me,
100%.
even like, that's one thing I always do. Is a lot of the masjids I go to sometime, like for some masjid, they don't allow you to wear the slippers, like when you're to walk inside to take wudu and stuff.
Really?
You gotta walk barefoot.
Oh, I know. SubhanAllah.
So I don't know that, right?
Yeah.
And the guy comes and yells like, "Why you doing that? You don't have no common sense. You're supposed to leave the slippers." I'm like, hold on. As he's walking, I'm walking with him. I'm like, hold on. Your attitude, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Check yourself. Like, you're an older man.
Mhm.
Learn how to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I still went ahead and put the slippers back.
Yeah.
I still listened to the advice,
Yeah.
but I had to check him too. I'm like, your attitude, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Fix your attitude when you're talking to me, because I didn't treat you with disrespect, so don't treat me with disrespect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Respect is a
100%.
two-way street. Like, you can't have, one person demanding it
Yeah.
and then the other being, bullied. Like, the religion is based on your character. Like,
Yeah.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the best of characters. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, if we all are supposed to emulate him, then, you know what I'm saying, the same way you're coming at, trying to correct me,
Yeah.
check yourself before you come correct me. Like,
Inshallah.
And I
Make-
feel like it's counterintuitive too. If you want someone to listen, if
Yeah.
you come at my neck, I'm not listening to you.
You're right.
Like you're counterintuitive. Like you wasted your breath trying to tell me something,
exactly.
and you could have said it nice and respectfully. We could have, perhaps engaged in a conversation. You could have, I would have understood you. Perhaps maybe
Right.
to the point where now, okay, I see you at the masjid. Yo, this guy, make dua for him because he helped me a lot.
He's
Or
a good guy.
you create a
Yeah.
relationship with an individual.
Mhm.
Right.
Whereas someone's yelling at you for taking off your slippers,
Yeah.
and now you got beef. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what? Like you now on top of that, if Allah barik, you listen to him, you put it back, and I'm sure you still go back to the masjid and whatnot. But
Yeah.
perhaps it might have been someone early in their journey in Islam,
Yeah.
and that action, if they were soft, would have motivated them to become closer to the deen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that person's bad attitude now resulted in them being further from the deen, and it falls on that individual's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you
very
go,
true.
and then Allah's gonna ask that person on the day of judgment,
Yeah.
why did you
Yeah.
stray from my path? Or because of this person's attitude?
Mm.
Now that's
yeah.
not all going to be all on him,
Yeah.
but he played a factor to it. It's
Yeah.
going to be on this person's head.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
still
Yeah.
gonna be a sin upon him, and he gonna have to deal with them repercussions.
I
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
your hat. It reminded me of another story. Because I'm telling you, I've been doing like the stuff I told you since I was 13,
Yeah.
21 now, so that you can do the
Yeah.
math. It's like what, 7 years? No,
Yeah.
8 years almost, right?
MashaAllah, Allahumma barik.
So, bro, the amount of stories that I have when it comes to haram police, Allah, Allah, I could write a whole book about it, right? This was actually recent. I think it was not this Ramadan, the Ramadan before.
Mhm.
So a masjid I was leading there, like I was going between a few, and this one specifically, it's a known community center in our area, right?
Okay.
I'm not gonna say the name, but
Yeah.
the other one, not this one, the other famous one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they had like a volunteer dinner, just like an appreciation dinner, right, for whoever was involved with like the Ramadan team, with leading, with the imam,
Mhm.
the volunteers, coordination, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So they invited me. I went through, no problem. So I hadn't been there in a while, and again, bro, it was a dinner, casual, where I was wearing jeans, a tracksuit, and a Yankees hat, nothing
Yeah.
crazy, just NY on it, and it was a baseball cap, right? So it wasn't a whatever those other ones are called, the fitteds, right? So it was just
Snapback?
it was just the
Snapback.
baseball.
It was
No,
like
no, not
the.
snap- yeah, but it was like a baseball cap one, right?
Oh,
so
I
it was
see.
just some
It was
calm.
fitted. You had a
Yeah.
fitted.
No, it was like the
Nah, he
one
had the
with
strap in the back, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
you had the
yeah,
strap. You
yeah,
had the
yeah, yeah.
snapback. You had the
I've been out of
snapback.
the culture for a minute, bro.
Forgive
me.
You got
Nah,
out
yeah.
of hot culture, man.
yeah. So so I go there, casual
Yeah.
clothes. We have dinner. Me and the man were sitting. We're chilling. We're talking. Salah time comes. He's like, Abdul Rahman, lead salah. I said, yo, I'm just like I'm in casual clothes, you know, like he's like no problem. He's like, what difference? Yo, it's Salah, you're covered properly, like you're good, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is the imam of the masjid, by the way.
Yeah.
So, you know, out of respect, just to, you know, keep him, I'm like, I made the excuse of the clothes, but I was properly clothed. It's no problem, you know?
Yeah.
So, Iqama comes, pushes me up. I'm on the mic. I'm, you know, fixing the mic just because I'm tall, so I moved it up, you know?
Yeah.
And I had my hat on. So when I have my hat on, I'm just, you know, most of the time when I'm leading, I'm wearing a thobe. When I'm outside with my boys, I have a hat on. I'm usually just flipping it back,
Yeah.
right? Throwing it back around, just so that way the brim doesn't hit when I make sujood.
Yeah.
So I turned it around, and some old head, bro, from my right side,
Mm.
mad loud, take the hat off, kafirs wear it. No, straight up said, you can't lead with that hat on, kafirs wear it.
Like we're in Sunnah, we're in the Quran says that.
Oh my
My knee is not to imitate kafir. I'm wearing a
Yeah.
hat, bro, like it's not that deep.
Yeah.
For out of respect for him, I took off the hat and I put it in the front.
Yeah.
And I showed like I was visibly like agitated, you know, just so he knows like, yo. So no problem. It passes by, you know, he wants to have, I know this guy, he wants to always engage in debates afterwards about why he's right. So I kind of just, you know, take out my phone, pretend like I'm doing something, and I just walk away.
Yeah.
Happens again. Same time. I was at the masjid. I was need to catch Salah. Imam sees me. I'm like, man, please lead. I go up and I lead Salah. Same thing. Bro, I'm used to a habit. Throw the hat back.
Yeah.
Take off the hat. I've told you kafirs wear. You can't lead Salah with that hat. I kept it on. I kept that hat on.
Yeah.
Because last time it happened, I know that community well. So
Yeah.
they pressed the guy about it, and you know
Yeah.
everyone was annoyed. Everyone gives him the strongest glare ever. And after
Yeah.
Salah, and he's like, you have to take off the hat. I love you, brother, but like, you know, the kafirs wear it. I'm like, what's wrong with the hat? He's like, kafirs wear it. I'm like, is there anything wrong with the hat? He's like, no, but kafirs wear it. I'm like, bro, I get your point. I said, khalas, no problem.
Yeah.
It got to me a little bit. I'm like, yo, maybe this guy has something right. Maybe I'm just bugging out.
Yeah.
I go to another imam, the resident scholar of that masjid.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was someone from our community. He's like, I'm like, yeah, it was someone from the community. He said, all right, let me know next time he's there, so that way when I lead Salah, I can bring my cap to wear it. You know?
Yeah.
So no knowledge, and the guy's knowledgeable, right? But
Yeah.
there's no basis or there's no evidence for your claim.
Yeah.
You're doing it in a manner that's not, again, alhamdulillah, I wasn't embarrassed or anything, you know. But I've been through it, done that a million times, right? But I wasn't embarrassed by it. No basis, no knowledge, no evidence for what you have to say. A purely emotional statement. And on top of that, there's time and place, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's stuff like this is what puts people away from it. And it's a very youth oriented masjid, and he's done this with other people too. So it's like now you're turning people away from Islam. So not only are you sinful for speaking without knowledge, not only are you sinful for claiming something is haram when it's not, you're sinful for embarrassing someone, and now you're sinful for turning someone away from Islam as well.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no win in it, you know?
Yeah. SubhanAllah, yeah.
It's
There's a lot of stories. I seen
Take
like
that off, kafirs wear it.
nah, I even like when I'm like randomly scrolling through social media and I see like different posts. I think I see this one post, right, where you know when you have your camera flipped, right? When you have it flipped to like this, to like the front view it's reverse, right?
Yeah.
There's so many videos
With the hands, right?
Yeah, with the hands. Like
Yeah.
somebody would like it would appear as if they're drinking something with their left hand, but really it's their right hand. But it's just
Yeah.
the camera's flipped, so it shows the opposite hand, right? I go through the comment section, and everybody's flooded. Every single comment is like, "What are you doing? You're eating with the left hand. What? I mean, you're drinking with the left hand. What are you doing? Out eat with your
I've
right
seen
hand."
this, and again,
Yeah.
well, I'm so sorry because I'm yapping too much because I have so many of these stories.
Nah, it's good. Yeah.
But a friend of mine, shout out Hamza again, right? I mentioned him on the last podcast too.
Yeah.
He's wallahi, I'll put him on the spot. One of the most beautiful voices I've heard in my life.
Mashallah,
Right?
yeah.
Wallahi, I'm gonna show you guys
Wallahi.
afterwards. Beautiful voice, nice heavy voice, beautiful
Yeah.
recitation, amazing tajweed. I love him,
Yeah.
right? May Allah reward him. He
And
was
he-
one of the people that really like motivated me to work on recitation stuff.
Okay.
He's the imam of a masjid,
Oh,
right?
mashallah.
So he's the imam of a masjid. I'm pretty sure they would hire someone who has even a little bit of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And there was a video they went live streaming of him leading salah, right? And it was it was like just put on the side, but they used the front facing camera.
Yeah.
And so in that way it looks like instead of the right hand being on top of the left,
Yeah.
it looks like the left is on top of the right
Right.
because it's inversed.
Yeah.
And it's evident, okay, like, the camera's inverse, but whatever. Because there was a poster in the back, about like something about the masjid, how they were building a building,
Yeah.
and the words were backwards.
Right.
So it showed that the camera was inversed.
Right.
The whole comments, how are you, Imam? And your hands are on the wrong side. Why is your left hand on top of your right hand?
Yeah.
Habibi, he's an Imam in a masjid.
Yeah.
He reads Quran beautifully.
Yeah.
Use your eyes. If you could see him, then you could see the poster in the back.
Right.
What are you talking about? Just
Yeah,
use a little
like,
bit of common sense.
Literally, yeah.
And
Like-
that's another thing too, is that they
Flooded.
the Haram police, like they get caught like people catch them just looking stupid so much, like so many times, like they get caught just
Yeah.
looking stupid, like
Yeah.
over
It's
and
crazy.
over
It's
and
kinda
again, like we were talking about just earlier, we were just talking about a brother that was a da'i, and there was basically a whole story on social media and everything, and all these different influencers, Islamic influencers, just commenting on it. They don't even know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Find out later. They find out like a couple of weeks later that the girl was lying about the da'i.
No way.
You should have mind your business. Like you should have mind. Now y'all all look stupid, and y'all all just, y'all just sitting there like, I guess he was innocent. No, apologize because you was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did it just for clickbait, and you did it out of arrogance just to get, what I'm saying, to make yourself seem like you're bigger than somebody. Like that's an arrogant move. Instead of making, because one of the things we're supposed to do as Muslims is we're supposed to make excuses for our brothers and
Right.
sisters.
Right.
And
Like-
verifying information you receive
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like even the Sahabas, like even if they seen another Sahaba with like alcohol dripping down their
Mhm.
beard, they would be like, oh, somebody probably threw it on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So like we're supposed to be having each other's back, but also advising each other privately. So we make sure, you know what I'm saying, you're not embarrassed, and we don't make you look crazy in front of people, but we're also helping you develop and grow as a believer. So
Yeah. 100%.
I've noticed, and when it comes to like da'is, and this could be a whole nother topic for a podcast too.
Yeah.
When it comes to like being known in the community, it comes with its own like a million headaches. Because you can't go outside without, oh look, he's an imam in the masjid, but his shorts are like half a millimeter up above his knees. Or oh my god, his elbows are showing. Or oh my god, he's an imam. His he has a this or that.
Yeah.
I've seen some people complaining. By the way, they had like long hair. It wasn't a fade, no nothing's long hair. Look, he's an imam, but he has long hair. And look at he's an imam, but he drives a nice car. Or he's an imam, and he. Why? And it's like they want to find something
Yeah.
because everyone wants to have the latest and greatest in regards to the tea,
Of course. Yeah.
And another thing too, I don't know if I mentioned this in another podcast, but the stories are coming to mind.
Yeah.
This was when I was younger too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but if I did repeat it, I'm sorry. I'm going to repeat the story again. This was pure Haram police, right?
Yeah.
Not Haram police, but wanted to correct, right?
Yeah.
Leading salah. Try to think. I don't think I mentioned this. I was leading salah when I was younger in the old building,
Okay.
and I was
Oh, yeah.
reading.
I think
Yeah,
I heard you say
yeah.
something about that.
you ain't tell us the full thing though. Like
you
you
didn't go
just
into
told us
details.
that's when you first started. You
Yeah.
first started.
Yeah,
in
and
the
then I was leading, and I was reading from Sud Baqarah. I was reading فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي.
Okay.
Right? فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي وَلَأُتِمَّ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكُمْ. That continues, right?
Mm.
And there's an ayah in Surah Ma'idah, a different surah.
Mm.
فَلَا تَخْشَوْ النَّاسَ وَخْشَوْنِ.
Mm.
Right? So I was reading فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي,
Mm.
and this was Baqarah. I was reading correct. So I'm reading, and I read فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي وَلَأُتِمَّ. Guy behind me, فَلَا تَخْشَوْ النَّاسَ وَخْشَوْنِ. And wallahi, he was like 2 rows behind me. He screamed at his top, like, bro, you could have just calm down a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
for real.
Like, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound right. So I'm like, this part I know this part well, more
Yeah.
than I would for other parts. And I'm like, okay, let me go back an ayah or two,
Yeah.
read it again,
Mm.
and it'll just flow,
Right.
And I read فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي again from the back, mad like screaming at the top of his lungs, فَلَا تَخْشَوْ النَّاسَ وَخْشَوْنِ. Again.
No
And I'm like,
way.
okay, no, I'm reading correctly. I continue.
Yeah.
All right. And all I hear is فَلَا تَخْشَوْ النَّاسَ وَخْشَوْنِ فَلَا تَخْشَوْ. It just keeps yelling.
No
And
way.
I go into the court, finish, get back up, finish the salah,
Yeah.
and then I say salam,
Yeah.
and then I turn around and my dad's in the first row. My dad's red, right? My dad's red,
Yeah.
and I'm like, Baba, where's the guy? He's like, oh, he's in the back,
Yeah.
right? I go in the back and I'm like, calmly, right? Because again, even though he was trying to, I get where he was coming from, but he didn't
Yeah.
go about it correctly.
Right.
But I still took him to the side. I'm like, brother, by the way, I'm like, Assalamu alaikum wa rahman. He, took his name, and then I'm like, oh, I took out my phone. I showed him the, hey, I'm like, I was reading فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي
Yeah.
وَلِيُتِمَّ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكُمْ, and I'm like, you were reading فَلَا تَخْشَوْا النَّاسَ وَاخْشَوْنِ. I'm like, I know they sound very similar, but I was in Surah Baqarah, you were Surah Al Imran.
Yeah.
You could have said, I'm sorry, or this and that. I was like, I'm sorry. I haven't studied in a long time.
Right. That's what he said?
I haven't studied in a long time. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if you didn't know, you should have stayed quiet.
Right.
And if you get the hint, like, okay, I'm not listening to you, you just stay quiet,
Right.
you know? And after Salah, okay, the least you can say is my apologies. You don't got to make an excuse.
Nah,
My bad, I haven't studied in a while. Okay, then don't
They don't say anything. Yeah,
correct
exactly.
me if you haven't
Exactly.
studied in a while.
You know? And there was
Yeah.
a video of another imam. He was reading from Surah Hud, right?
Yeah.
And the ayah was أم يقولون افتراه قل فأتوا بعشر سور مثله مفتريات وادعوا من استطعتم من دون الله, right? That was the ayah. And there's another part in the same surah that says أم يقولون افتراه قل إن افتريته فعلي إجرامي, right? وأنا بريء مما تشركون. So this two different ayahs, same surah, they start off the same way.
Yeah.
And the imam is reading, beautiful voice. If you write the imam, or if you write man correcting imam wrong on YouTube, it's gonna be like the first video, right? So imam, beautiful voice. أم يقولون افتراه قل فأتوا بعشر سور مثله مفتريات. He's going and he's reading, and some guy behind him corrects him wrong. And when I tell you the man's أم يقولون قل إن افتريته فعلي إجرامي, keeps yelling. The imam is reading. The guy keeps
It's still
screaming.
yelling.
It's like a screaming war at this point. And the imam finishes the rak'ah,
Yeah.
goes into the court, right? Whatever, he go into sujood, comes back up. وَلَضَّالِّينَ آمين. The imam says nothing. The guy in the back. أم يقولون افترى قل إن افتريت فعلي
No way.
إجرامي. The
No
imam
way.
said nothing. Before the imam even started reading, the guy started screaming.
SubhanAllah. Like,
That's-
there's no way.
I think that's
Is that not?
that's very evident. Like in Ramadan, that happens a lot. Like
Yeah.
I see that happening
This
so
is one of
much,
the worst things to deal with
and
in
it like
Ramadan.
Nah.
it absolutely like pisses me off.
Because
Like,
everyone has their phone out,
it's
and everyone
just-
thinks they know Quran now.
yeah, it's like everybody. It just
Nah, it's
absolutely
subhanAllah.
pisses me off. Like
Yeah.
like something similar but a little different was it was a kid. It was a young kid reading
be too much.
Quran, and I'm even just think about it right now, it's pissing me off.
Yeah.
But like
Never
a young kid
forget
is
that,
reading Quran,
Yeah, me.
like he's he's very young, like he's learning. You know what I'm saying? And the masjid that I used to go to, like they like to push the young kids up, so they gain that courage of just reading Quran and leading salat. And the kid, you can see as soon as he comes up, like he's very nervous. Like
Yeah.
you could see him like
It's nerve-wracking.
you know what I'm saying? He's nervous, like he's shaking, like when he's reciting his
Voice is trembling.
yeah, voice is trembling. So like every time he made a mistake, the person behind him is looking over his shoulder, like just like looking at the Quran, like you know what I'm saying, like to see like it's like, bro, why are you looking over my shoulder? And every
Right.
time he make a mistake, subhanallah, I'm like, like, bro, what are you like, bro? Relax, bro. You're right behind him. Just
Yeah.
correct him, like,
Literally.
and do it like with a soft tone, like
Yeah, so
you're-
not everybody,
Subhanallah.
like everybody don't gotta hear. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like I'm like, bro.
If
like,
he's right
you-
behind him, he could correct him in a low voice, and nobody else will
and
notice.
Then, and then as soon as he does that and everything, everybody, because the brother, the one that kept on saying subhanallah, like, he has a very beautiful voice and he's very good at reciting.
Yeah.
So like as soon as he kept on saying that, now all his friends want to be like, yeah, come on, bro, you go lead. He keep messing up. I'm like, bro.
In the middle of Salah?
No, after like we finished a lot,
okay.
like he's like, yeah, you should go lead. I'm like, bro, like you doing that now? They're all
Another
like,
story comes to mind.
they're all trying to cheer you on. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, he's
Yeah.
a little kid. You see him, he's nervous, he's scared. And before the salah even happened, I'm like, bro, I even look at the guy. I'm like, bro, last year, bro, when this guy came, the kid, he was very nervous last year. I know
Yeah.
him, but he tries though, and he does well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But it's gonna take him some time.
Of
He
course.
he doesn't recite like fast like like you know what I'm saying. It's gonna take him some
Yeah,
time.
takes a minute.
Yeah. And so be patient with him. It's like he heard one ear, came out the other. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, there's no point of me talking
Yeah.
to you. Like,
SubhanAllah.
And it's and the more annoying factor is the fact that other adults are then egging him on to do it more.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
You know?
it's
I had something similar happen, but it was the other way around. It was this was a masjid in Bay Ridge, right? And the people that like the staff over there, they knew me. It was one of my boys' dad was like one of the people, like, I don't know if you own the masjid or stayed. No one owns it, but like he was the one that opened it up and stuff.
Yeah.
But he My gym would used to be over there when I used to not have a gut, right? I used to actually go to the
Nah,
gym.
we all got guts now.
When I actually used to go to the gym, right? Now I just sit in my car and eat, you know. But when I used to go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
It was New York Sports Club before they closed down.
Okay.
So I would either go like pray and then I would go or I would finish my workout and then I would go pray.
Mm.
So they knew he knows Quran whatever. Then they would tell me, Abdurrahman, we don't have an imam for Maghrib. He comes for Fajr and Isha. So can you just lead like Maghrib, because Dhuhr and Asr, there's not really any recitation.
Mm.
For Maghrib, can you just like cover? I said, okay, no problem. Whenever I'm here, I'll come through.
Yeah.
So automatically everyone knew, like, okay, if Abdurrahman's here, push him up. Still, my rule of thumb, and I advise this to all Huffaz, do your best to be as humble as you can. And this is not tooting my own horn, but it's just a rule that I have. I'm never going to go up. If someone else wants to go up before me, no problem, right?
Yeah.
If there's no one going up, then I'll go up, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the best of leaders are those that are chosen, not the ones that choose themselves, right?
Right. 100%,
So
yeah.
whatever, I keep leading, I go, and then one day, same thing happened, right? Iqamah happens, and everyone's like, okay, Abdurrahman, please go lead. So I take a step forward. As I take one step forward, some guy comes bolting onto the mic, Keep in mind, this was like a known thing, like the masjid knew, okay,
Yeah.
Maghrib is Abdurrahman.
Yeah.
Bolts onto the mic. When I say he ran onto the mic, right? I said, okay, Allah, I took one step back. Calm,
Yeah.
no problem. I prayed, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of like in shock, like, Abdurrahman, like, go, like, we'll tell him to step. I'm like, no, I'm like, no problem. And it turns, he's like, the guy, his reason was, because he's young, or doesn't, he doesn't know Quran, or he's young or something. He had some lame excuse, right?
SubhanAllah.
So whatever, no problem. I was quiet.
Yeah.
Finished with Fatiha. I remember he reads Surah Al-Qasas, right?
Mm.
He's reading Surah Al-Qasas. One mistake. 2 mistakes. 3 mistakes. 4th mistake. Every single mistake, who's correcting it? I'm in the first row right behind him.
Yeah.
Right? I'm correcting every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one, right? And again, look calmly, not embarrassing him in front of everyone, just lightly saying it so he hears no one behind me, right?
Yeah.
And it's already bad enough because he pushed me, not physically, but metaphorically pushed me back so he could lead because I'm young and I don't know Quran, right? So
Yeah.
one mistake, I correct him. Second mistake, I correct him. Third mistake, I correct him. Fourth mistake, I correct him. No problem. Go into the court, come back up. Next rak'ah starts, right? And I'm not like nitpicking these mistakes and trying to, be rude.
Yeah.
Like he genuinely was stopping and he couldn't continue.
Yeah.
And he just refused to go into ruku', Like, okay, let's say this part, it's a little bit tough. You finish the ayah, go into ruku'. There's no
Right.
need to embarrass yourself anymore.
Of course,
He just insisted. I'm like, okay, maybe after the third rak'ah he's gonna go, or third mistake he's gonna go into ruku'. No, fourth mistake. I'm like, yo, you keep reading. Okay, like I'm not gonna embarrass you, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you a chance to fix yourself. But yo, go into ruku', come back up. To the second rak'ah, same thing. Reads, go into like Qul Huwallahu Ahad, go to Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, something.
Yeah.
Picks it right back up from where he was making mistakes. Keeps going, keeps reading. Allah Alam, I don't know if he was trying to prove a point or what.
Yeah.
Keeps reading, keeps making mistakes, and I have to keep correcting him. The salah finished, bro. Some people were like, yo, we have to pray again. They're
Yeah.
like, Abdurrahman, why'd you
100%.
move back?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, nothing. And bro, wallahi, and may Allah forgive him. May Allah forgive
Ameen.
me if I did something wrong too.
I
But
mean, yeah.
since that day, every time he would come to the masjid, he stayed in the back. He never got up to the first row ever again.
SubhanAllah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
The entire time.
So I don't police in person too.
Yeah.
They got him in real life too.
He's a kid. He doesn't know Quran,
Yeah.
right? And again, this is not to toot my own horn by any means. I'm just providing like a thing that happened in my life,
Mm.
But like, okay, you want to call me a kid, and I don't know Quran, or my beard's not connected enough for me to be qualified as an imam. I don't know whatever excuse people have.
Yeah.
But you went up. You're making mistakes, and it was no one in the first row knew that surah, right? Because I knew the community, right? And they were a bit more beginner. May Allah inshallah increase them and make them hafaz. But they were a bit more beginner in their knowledge of the Quran because I knew them personally, right?
Yeah.
The whole first row doesn't know that surah, right? I'm the one the same guy that you pushed back is not the one that's correcting you, and you
Yeah.
wanted to embarrass me in front of the whole masjid because he's a kid, he shouldn't lead. Now, you could have saved yourself embarrassment by going into the court,
Exactly. Yeah. SubhanAllah.
May Allah forgive him, man. May Allah
Yeah.
forgive me too if I did something wrong,
I mean, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's a cold world we live in.
point of the story is, man.
Yo, wallahi, you guys chose the wrong topic because I could talk about this.
Nah, yeah, it's a good topic though.
Yeah.
A lot of people could talk about it too because
Yeah.
it's
You know
everywhere.
what I'm
You see it all over
Yeah.
social media everywhere.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure like
Alhamdulillah.
we're
gotta be humble.
We're different and we're humble. Like we're not
Yeah.
Of course.
we're not correcting people out of arrogance or thinking we're better or more pious.
100%.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta do it in a respectful way. So
Yeah.
you give a person a chance to grow, and gain a understanding, and you also by doing it in an appropriate way, you gain a companion. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
Mhm.
You
Of course.
gain somebody that going to be like, okay, if I make a mistake or if I have a question,
Yeah.
this person was very nice to me. He knew how
Mhm.
to, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He knew how to advise me. So let me go to this person.
Yeah,
You
like
gonna-
something
Yeah.
very
And there's a
important.
hadith
Yeah.
where
Like
Rasulullah Sallallahu says that if
Sallallahu
someone
alaihi wasallam.
guides someone to doing something correct or to
Yeah.
doing something right, just to paraphrase that, it's, to paraphrase the hadith, someone guides someone to the correct thing, he's rewarded the individual that got corrected.
Mm.
He's rewarded for doing the right thing. And on top of that, the individual who guided him also is rewarded for it as well, right? And
Of
Allah will, as long as that person does that action, you were the one that corrected him,
Yeah.
right? Guidance comes from Allah, but it came, you helped that person out. And the hadith says that both of them, neither one of the reward is lessened because the other one's getting reward. So
Right.
you both get the full reward. You both get full reward, and at the same time, you corrected him. It's like a sadaqah jari in a sense, where okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or like a continuous charity. Like you helped someone.
Yeah.
Now this person, if you read Quran, for example, my teachers, right, they taught me Quran. Every single letter I read, they're getting rewarded for it. May Allah
Yeah.
make it even more. My parents who
Ameen.
pushed me to learn Quran, they're doing the same thing. If someone
Yeah.
learns from this podcast, right, it's hasanat for you guys,
Yeah.
because you guys took that initiative to do it.
Yeah.
So when someone you do something correctly, you advise them softly, it's a win-win situation for you.
Yeah.
You know. Now, on the other hand, if you come at someone's neck, you turn them away from the deen. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
gonna be on your head. Not you guys. Generally speaking,
Yeah, yeah,
it's gonna
sure,
be on
yeah.
the individual's head.
lose
Sure,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, like Islam is not only like just about doing your fard, it's also about
Mhm.
like your character as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Your characters, mannerisms is the fard too. You know.
yeah, spend a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the people with the best of characters are the ones that's going to be standing next to Rasulullah
Sallallahu
sallallahu
alaihi
alaihi wasallam.
wasallam.
on
Yeah.
Yawm al-Qiyamah.
Allah make us amongst those individuals.
I mean,
Me, ya Rab. But like, I just want to just touch and finish upon what you were saying though. And every time somebody teaches that thing that you taught the person, the way you corrected them in a positive way, the next person they teach, you're gonna get the reward for that. And
Mhm.
every person that they teach, you're gonna get a reward for.
Yeah.
no, yeah,
Inshallah.
sure, yeah,
So,
inshallah.
Same thing the other way around too.
exactly.
It's always two
SubhanAllah.
sides. SubhanAllah.
Alhamdulillah. May Allah forgive us for our road rage too when it comes to
Amen.
character.
I mean,
What? Nah, New York. That's
Nah,
another
yeah.
story, bro.
Nah,
New
yeah,
York
for
is
sure.
just
We're
crazy.
New York traffic is too much.
SubhanAllah, man.
Alhamdulillah, man.
Nah,
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, that's what we do with
May
road
our
police.
good character also be when we drive.
Inshallah, yeah.
You both of you drive, so you know what I'm talking about.
Nah, yeah, for sure,
man,
for
I think
sure.
that's my worst one.
Some people, especially in New York, if you guys know, New York is
you
really
know,
crazy.
You know, man.
you know, yeah.
Right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah
Thank you
khair.
for
Yes, man.
tuning in.
I mean,
Abdul Rahman.
Jazakallah khair.
they
Justin.
like,
You
Assalamu
know,
alaikum.
we hope to see you again. Please
Inshallah.
tune in, subscribe, like, comment, share.
Yeah.
Be in touch with us. We like to hear from you guys. So,
Inshallah.
comment below.
Inshallah, we do a live soon, inshallah.
Yeah,
Inshallah,
we
inshallah.
trying to do it live. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
for
gotta
real.
get you on a live
Inshallah,
episode.
inshallah,
We get it.
inshallah.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.